Like, oh my gosh, that sneeze shook me to my core. Welcome back to my channel, guys. So today we are going to be doing another tier list video. I'm so excited. You guys loved the last tier list video. That's the most watched video on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet, I'll put it in the thingy up here. It was just Harry Potter ships. But today I am going to be doing a tier list of all the Pixar movies. So I'm really excited. Also, please don't judge my choices. No, you can, but like don't be too mean, okay? Yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to be ranking all of the Pixar movies. So I'm going to get my laptop, screen record on it, and I'm sitting in a chair, so if during the video I'm looking down a little, it's because I'm looking down at my laptop doing the tier list thing, just so you know. I don't know what else to say. Let's rank some movies. Okay, so I have my ranking listy thing pulled up, and as you can see I already organized what my tiers are gonna be, so let's go through those real quick. So at the bottom tier we have Why Did They Do This? That's pretty self-explanatory. It's just, movies that I'm not sure why they need to exist. And then the next tier up from that is bad, but I can still sit through it. I know it's a bad movie while watching it, but I could get through to the end, if that makes sense. And then the tier up from that we have it's an okay movie, but it still made me cry, so it gets points for that, because it's getting an emotional response out of me, congrats. And then the tier up from that is love it, and these are movies that I love, I think that are really great, and I watch, multiple times, blah blah blah. And then the tier up from that we have God tier, which is reserved for my personal favorites. Nostalgia factors in a lot for the God tier. So those are our tiers. Let's get started, I guess. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of nervous. So our first movie that we have is A Bug's Life. Now, A Bug's Life, I feel like I haven't seen necessarily a bunch of times, but the plot is still ingrained in my head, and the scary, what are those, grasshopper things that fly around? Horrifying. Bug's Life is a cute movie. It's not anything special, I feel like. So I think I'm gonna start us in the middle of the road and put it at okay movie, but still made me cry. I don't think I cried during this movie, but it is it's an okay movie. I wouldn't say it's great, and it's definitely not bad, so right smack in the middle. It's definitely better than Ants, I will say. It's better than Ants. Okay, and then the next movie that we have on the list is Brave. So Brave is actually, I have a funny story with Brave. So when Brave was in theaters, I actually went to the movie theater and went to go see Brave. And you know how there's just a bunch of different theaters and you're supposed to go to the theater that is designated from your ticket? Well, we just I don't know, weren't thinking and walked into the wrong theater, but it was still playing Brave. That's why we went into that theater. We were just oh, that theater's playing Brave, that must be our theater. But it wasn't, and I guess I didn't know a ton about the movie before going in. I just must have seen one commercial, just I don't know, I thought it was just about this bow and arrow girl, with red hair. Turns out no, it's this whole crazy plot with bears and family and all of that, which is great, but I just didn't know that going in, and was very confusing when I walk into this theater and Brave has been playing for it must have been playing for a good 30-45 minutes, because when I walked in they were already changed into bears, and I was so confused, so confused. Throughout the entire movie I was what's going on? Where am I? When we had walked in initially we're oh shoot, we're a little late. The movie must have just started, but no. The movie had been started for a while, so that's kind of funny. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't, even seeing Brave in full, I don't love it. I don't really have any emotional attachments to it. It's alright. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it and looking at my tier list, I guess I don't like it. I think I don't like it, which is kind of sad. I feel bad. So I might be putting it in bad, but I can still sit through it. Because I think I do like A Bug's Life better. Sorry about it. Sorry, Brave fans. Oh, we have the first Cars movie. So Cars is one of those movies that I feel like was playing on repeat just everywhere once it was out. Like, I would go to like after school daycare or something and it would just be on like all the time. Or I would like be at my house and it was just like Cars just happens to be on all the time. So I feel like I've seen Cars like an insane amount of times, and for that reason it kind of annoys me. It's not a bad movie, but it's just like I've seen it so many times and it's just like ugh. But it's funny. It definitely, there's parts in it that make me laugh. When I was younger I definitely thought Mater was like hilarious, which now I'm like but at the time I thought he was really funny. I'm gonna go okay movie. I think it's on the level of A Bug's Life. I don't love Cars, but I like what they were trying to do and there's fun parts of it. And you know what's even better than Cars is Cars Land in Disneyland. And that brings us to Cars 2. Now, Cars 2 might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And that's saying something because I'm very easily entertained with movies. If you know me, like you put on a quote-unquote bad movie and odds are I'm probably going to be entertained by it, probably going to like it. But Cars 2, that is not the case. That is not the case at all. I have no idea what they were thinking with this movie, why they decided to make Mater the main character threw me, why they decided to make it like this around the world thing. I don't know. It's like they took out all of the parts of Cars, the first Cars, that I actually liked, took all of that out and replaced it with like fart jokes and like a pretty mediocre plot, you know? Like, it just was not needed. It was not needed, was not the sequel that we needed. Honestly, Cars didn't even need a sequel. I thought it wrapped up pretty well, so I'm putting Cars 2 in why did they do this? Because why did they do this? I'd like to know. Pixar, I think you actually owe me however long this movie is, what, like an hour and a half, you owe me that time back. Because I'm never getting that time back. Ever. Okay, moving on. Now it is Toy Story 4. So Toy Story 4 is actually one of 2 movies on this list that I have not seen. And so because of that, I want to still give it like a fair chance on the list. So I'm going to call somebody that has seen Toy Story 4 and have them tell me their opinion. Hello!
Hello!
Hi!
Thanks! He likes the bangs.
Oh my gosh, thank you!
Why are you wearing makeup?
Because right now I'm filming. Say hi to the camera.
Oh my god. Oh.
Anyway, I'm doing a Pixar movie tier list, and I'm pretty sure you saw Toy Story 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't seen Toy Story 4, so I wanted to ask you your opinions on it. It's Cheyenne, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Cheyenne.
Okay, Toy Story 4. Let me rank it amongst the Toy Stories, because you've seen 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah.
3 is number 1 for sure.
Okay.
3 is first. 2 is second. Because Alice Barnes' toy bar is so funny. Jesse. Dude, I love Al. He's so weird. And then 4 is third. And then Toy Story 1 is last.
Interesting, really? You like it more than 1?
Yeah, because Toy Story 4, it had that, like, nostalgia for, like, adults. I think Toy Story 1 is really good for children, but, like, as an adult, I would prefer to watch 4 because, like, once you've seen 1, 2, and 3... It's not for the kids. Yeah, it's not for the kids. It's for the... Toy Story 1 when it came out. Yeah. So, Toy Story 4, it had the emotion, it had, like, a cool plot, but it just didn't hit as hard as 3 or 2. It was pretty good, though. And on the, like, Pixar, like, tier, what do you have as 1?
I haven't done the other Toy Stories yet. This is what I have ranked so far.
Okay, so in my opinion, Toy Story 3 would be God tier, and then, I guess it would be okay movie, but still made me cry is Toy Story 4.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Wait, what does she have on the highest tier? I have nothing yet. What do you have at bottom?
Cars 2.
Cars 2?
Yeah.
Brave is also bad.
Cars 2 is an abomination, like, straight up.
But WALL-E is obviously God tier. Dude, if you have Ratatouille above WALL-E, I'll actually watch the video.
I definitely won't. Okay, well, thanks for your guys' opinions. Thanks for the help on Toy Story 4.
Inside Out at the bottom. I hate that movie. I hate that movie so so much.
Say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
So Cheyenne has spoken. She gave Toy Story 4 a pretty good review. So we're gonna put it in okay movie, but still made me cry. Middle tier. Next we have Coco, and Coco is so good. If you guys haven't seen Coco, please go watch it. It's one of the newer ones, so maybe a lot of people haven't seen it yet, but it's so good. It has like amazing music. Visually, it's like stunning, and this is one of those Pixar ones that will make you sob like hard. But Coco is a really good movie, so I'm going to put it in love it. It's not God tier for me personally, just because like I think I have other movies that maybe have more nostalgia attached to it. I think if Coco maybe had come out when I was younger, it could have been God tier for me. I don't know. Now next we have Finding Dory, which is the sequel to Finding Nemo. Now Finding Dory is a sequel that I think like was successful in like tying up maybe some loose ends or some questions from the first movie, and they actually succeeded where Cars 2 failed in kind of swapping main characters. I think Dory actually did work as a main character, whereas Mater like didn't. So I really enjoyed Finding Dory, but I only watched it once. It's not one of those ones like I've wanted to revisit. It was just kind of like, yeah, that's a good movie. I enjoyed myself. It wasn't like boring or anything, so I think that can go in okay movie, but still made me cry. Next we have Finding Nemo. Now Finding Nemo, for a while there I did feel kind of the same way about Cars, or about it that I feel about Cars, but I think I've gotten past that, and I actually really like Finding Nemo. I think it's a really cute story and has like really cute characters, and it's just like a good feel-good story, and this one definitely made me cry. The beginning scene was very sad. The end even made me cry, like when they finally get reunited. So I think for Finding Nemo, I'm gonna put it in love it, but it's definitely not God tier for me because I don't know, I just don't have like that big of an attachment, but I can recognize that it's a very good movie, and it's definitely one I've seen a lot and like wouldn't mind watching again. Next we have Inside Out, and Inside Out was so good. I know Cheyenne just on the phone said she hates Inside Out, but I actually really liked Inside Out. I think it's really cute, and I love the concept of like having like the emotions in the brain. Like I think about that all the time now, ever since watching the movie. Like what's controlling my brain right now? And I think about too like core memories a lot. Like what are my core memories? Or what memories like am I forgetting, and then I like feel bad because I'm like, no, those memories are dying. I really liked Inside Out, and this one also made me sob. It still makes me cry. The part with the imaginary friend, what's his name? Oh, who's your friend that likes to play bing bong, bing bong? That part, no thank you. And I also think it's a really good movie for kids to see, like with the main character Riley, like her struggling with her mental health and stuff. I think that's super important to like portray to younger kids. So I think that Inside Out is going into love it for me personally. So next we have Monsters Inc. and I love Monsters Inc. Monsters Inc. is such a good movie. I love it with all my heart. It honestly might be one of, if not my favorite Pixar movie, especially for nostalgia reasons. Monsters Inc. is the first movie that I saw in the movie theaters, and I love it to this day. I think it's a beautiful, wonderful film. I love Mike and Sully. I love Boo. It makes me cry. Again, every time I watch it, it makes me cry. Like, how could you not? It's so sad and sweet and beautiful, and I really love it. So Monsters Inc. is definitely God tier for me. A God tier movie. So then next we have Monsters Inc. sequel, Monsters University. And Monsters University, I think like Finding Dory, I've only seen once, but I did really enjoy it. I thought it was funny. It was nowhere near like Monsters Inc. level for me, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really cute, and I liked seeing like the background of how Sully and Mike became friends. I thought that was really cute. I also, hold on. I have the Monsters University hat. I got this in California Disneyland, I think. But yeah, I have the Monsters University hat, so like for that alone, like, come on. That gives it some points. But yeah, so I really liked Monsters University. I'd say it's on par with Finding Dory. So I would say okay movie, but still made me cry. But I don't think it made me cry. So the next movie is Onward, and Onward is actually the last movie that I saw in the movie theaters before COVID happened and everything. So for that reason alone, it's very near and dear to my heart. And Onward is a movie that actually really surprised me. From the ad campaign and stuff, I didn't think much of it. I just, you know, was like, oh, okay, like, that looks good, and I love Tom Holland, and so I was like, oh, like, I'm definitely gonna see it, like, it looks good, but I didn't think much of it, you know, I didn't think it was gonna do anything crazy. But Onward was such a good movie, and it was, like, exactly the movie I feel like I needed. It was so funny, like, I laughed out loud, like, it was actually really funny and sweet and had a lot of heart, and it made me cry really hard at the end. If you don't know, it's about a pair of siblings, and it's definitely very focused on that sibling relationship, even though you'd think it would be more, from the ads, you'd think it would be more focused on their relationship with their father that passed away. Hello, I'm editing this video and I just realized I forgot to say that Onward is actually based off of like a true story. It's basically the director's and writer's love letter to his brother, because they had their father pass away when they were younger, and his older brother was that father figure for him. So when you know that, it also makes the movie like so much sweeter and sadder. So I just wanted to throw that in here. Look it up. There's like articles about it. I could try and link one maybe in the description, I guess. So check that out. Okay, back to the tier list. But it's very centered around the sibling relationship. And for those of you that don't know, I do have a brother. He is quite an annoyance sometimes, and we get on each other's nerves, but this is like one of those movies that really made me like appreciate having a sibling and appreciate having that sort of bond. So I really liked this movie. It kind of blew me away, and it honestly, like, the more I think about it, the more I like realize how much I love it. So I'm honestly going to put Onward in God tier for me. I know, that's kind of crazy. It's a newer one, but I think it's one of those movies that I would just like be okay watching anytime. I really liked it, and I really connected with it. So for that reason, it's in God tier. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, the next movie that we have on the list is Ratatouille. Now, Ratatouille is a movie that I definitely did not like for the longest time. I guess it wasn't that I didn't like it, it was just more like I just never wanted to watch it. It was, again, one of those ones that was always on, and it just never really like interested me. But I will say, after the Ratatouille musical, I have a lot more appreciation for Ratatouille. So now I think I would put it in okay movie, but still made me cry. It's a good movie. It's a good movie. I don't love it or anything, but I appreciate it more thanks to TikTok. Thanks, TikTok. Okay, next movie on the list is Cars 3, and again, this is a movie that, the other movie that I have not seen on this list, and so I need to call somebody and get their opinions on it, because I haven't seen it. This is the one, though, I don't know who to call because I don't know who's seen it. I feel like maybe my brother has seen it, so I'm gonna try and give him a call. We'll see.
Hello?
Hi! Quick question. Have you seen Cars 3?
Yes, I think I have one.
It's like the most recent one. I'm filming a video right now. I'm ranking all the Pixar movies, and I haven't seen Cars 3, so I was wondering what your opinions on it are.
Well, do you at least know the premise of the movie?
Yeah, I know, like, he's racing and he gets hurt or something, and...
Oh, Megan, it's much more than that.
So you liked it?
It's alright, you know?
Yeah. I didn't expect it. It was probably that great.
Most people would say it's better than Cars 2, but I personally like Cars 2 because...
You like Cars 2?
No, because it's so bad that it's funny.
Okay, well, thank you for your opinions. I will take those into account. Well, love you.
Love you.
Bye. He said it back. So now that was my brother Max, and he talked pretty highly of Cars 3, which I'm surprised. He also talked highly of Cars 2, which doesn't make me trust his opinion very much. But to me, from what he described from the movie, I think that for me, that sounds like it would be on par with Brave. So I'm going to put it in bad, but I can still sit through it. I don't think it necessarily is bad from what he described, but I don't think it's on par with the movies that I have in okay. So I'm going to put it with Brave. Okay, next on the list we have the newest Pixar movie, Soul. Soul was incredible. If you have not seen Soul yet, please, please, please go watch it. I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not going to say too much about it since it did just come out. But I promise you, it is so, so good. It is another one that like blew me away. It's visually stunning. Like, it's incredibly beautiful. The animation is just, it's so good. And the story is also really, really good. It's something that like I feel like everybody is gonna connect to in some way and get something out of. I expected going into it for it to be one of those Pixar movies that just like makes you sob. But it was actually like a movie that I could like happy cry to, if that makes sense. Yeah, so I really, really loved Soul. It blew me away and definitely surprised me. So I'm going to put Soul in God tier. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend you go watch it. I think it's definitely going to win some awards. Okay, the next movie we have is The Good Dinosaur. Now, The Good Dinosaur is definitely one of those Pixar films that's more geared towards like smaller kids for sure, and it's on the shorter side, I want to say. I don't remember how long it is exactly, but I feel like it's kind of short. And it had like really, really good animation. It made me cry. I didn't expect to cry, but it made me cry. So yeah, it was a good movie, but it's not anything like crazy. I would actually say it's probably on par with Brave. I could see myself putting it in an okay movie, but I watched it like once. I haven't, you know, gone to rewatch it, so we'll put it down there. Okay, and the next movie is Incredibles 2. Incredibles 2 is a sequel, but it is a sequel that I think killed it. It is so good. It is like action-packed and awesome, and I love the Incredibles, so like getting to see them more was awesome. I think Incredibles 2 is a really cool, awesome film, and you get to see like a lot more of Elastigirl in action, which is really cool because, I'm sorry, I'm saying awesome and cool a lot, I just realized, but it is awesome and cool, okay? Elastigirl is awesome and cool, and yeah, I really liked Incredibles 2. I would say it goes in the love it tier for me. And then leading into that, we have the first Incredibles movie, and I love the first Incredibles movie so much. I've seen it so many times, but it doesn't really get old. I think it's such a good movie, and it's a good spin on the normal superhero movie because you start out with them just like living their normal lives. They're like retired superheroes, which I think is really interesting, and I like the concept of like that superheroes like live among us, and it's like common in this world for that to be a thing. It's The Incredibles. I feel like everybody loves The Incredibles, you know, like how much do I have to explain? It's a great movie. So I'm putting The Incredibles in God tier. It's amazing. Okay, next we have Toy Story 2. I love Toy Story 2. I think it's such a good film. Like, again, it's a very good sequel to the first one. I would say it might even be better than the first one. I liked that they introduced Wendy? Wait, why am I blanking on her name? Jessie! That is her name, Jessie. Oh my gosh. Wendy. Woody, Wendy. Okay, I see where I was coming from that. I loved like the Star Wars references that went on with like Buzz's backstory with his like dad and stuff. I really like it. The scene where the guy, I forget his name, where he's like cleaning Woody is ingrained in my brain. I feel like that scene alone is so ingrained in me. I don't know why, but I can like see it frame for frame in my brain. The part like Jessie's backstory makes me cry. That song is literally on my sad playlist. So yeah, Toy Story 2 I'm gonna put in love it. I wouldn't say it's God tier for me. I didn't necessarily connect to the Toy Story movies like a lot of people did. So Toy Story 3 I think is on the same level as Toy Story 2 for me. I love it. I think it is really funny and really, really, really sad. This one was like really sad, almost to like a point of like being too sad. I was like, chill, Toy Story 3, okay? Like, it came right at that time in my life too where like I was starting to grow up, get ready to go to college, get rid of all your old toys, and I was like feeling bad about it because of this movie. So I would put it on par with Toy Story 2. Now, the first Toy Story movie I think is really, really good. It's definitely like smaller in scale from the other Toy Story movies, but I kind of like that. But Toy Story is an amazing movie, obviously, so I'm gonna put it in love it. it's just not like God tier for me personally. Okay, next we have Up. Up is like one of the saddest movies of all time, just the first 10 minutes alone. Like, did not see that coming at all from the trailers. I literally thought it was just gonna be this like fun movie about a house floating in the air with balloons, but no, Pixar said, we're actually going to crush your soul. So have fun. But other than that, I really like Up. I at the time like thought Doug was like the funniest thing on the planet. I was like pissing myself watching that as a child. So, I don't know if I want to put it in Love It or Okay Movie, but still made me cry. Because it's not like my favorite movie, you know? I don't know if I would go out of my way to watch Up. I'm gonna put it in Love It. Yeah. Okay, and the last movie on our list is WALL-E. And WALL-E is definitely more of a, I feel like, an artistic Pixar movie, because it's definitely, I feel like if you sat a little kid down in front of it, they might get bored just because there's not a ton of dialogue or anything. It's like more slow paced, but I really like it. I really enjoy it. It's a really beautiful movie and emotional, surprisingly, even though it's about, you know, a robot. And it also like low-key causes existential like dread. Oh my god, like, is this where the human race is heading? Probably. Global warming. Ugh. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna put it in Love It? No. See, okay, here's the thing. I don't think WALL-E is necessarily on par with the movies that I have in Love It, but it's definitely not on par with the movies that I have in Okay. Like, it's definitely, like, better than those. I wish I could put it in between. And because I'm afraid of making people angry, I'm gonna choose to put it in the Love It tier instead of the Okay. But just know that if I could, I would put it in a tier in between those. And that tier would be called the WALL-E tier. So that is my final ranking. Let me know what you guys think of it. It's like interesting seeing it all laid out like this, which ones ended up being my favorite. If I had to like organize the God tier, it would definitely be Monsters Inc., Incredibles, Onward, then Soul. But yeah, this is my final ranking of the Pixar movies. Whoa, weird. I think we all saw this coming. I honestly should have just named this tier Cars 2. Because that movie is an abomination. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching that video. I hope you liked it. Let me know what your guys' rankings would be down below if you disagree or agree with any of my rankings. And let me know what you want me to do a tier list for in the future. I love tier list videos. I think they're a lot of fun. So yeah, just let me know what you want to see. Like and subscribe, and have a good summer. Bye! And what I'm saying is not making sense.